How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday stream. We've got Factorio again today. Definitely still feeling the pull to play Factorio, and I really want to play like in between streams, but then I know that just is going to cause some sort of like disjointed. I don't know. It's like I have the draw. I want to play the game, which makes it great for a streaming game, but then in between those streams, when I have that feeling that I want to play, I don't want to start a completely different save game, because then you end up with like different speeds of play, different things that you've unlocked, and the draw is really to keep working on the same world that we've been building together. So I'm glad that we get to play again today. Let's get some music on for the background here. Yeah, there we go. Wonderkind. All right. It's kind of back where we left off, though I'm standing in this convenient square here of mess, because this is the most regretful part, the beginning of the bus. You know, I was looking at this, and I couldn't help but think that we didn't do this well. Like, we're pulling the iron off of the bus, and when really what we should be doing is pulling a dedicated line of iron ore for this, and then just passing the iron ore into the system, and then steel comes out, or at least maybe that'll be the next big upgrade that we do for steel. Because looking at it, we're still, as I mentioned before, the throughput is only what we're seeing on this top side of this belt. This other belt is barely moving. I guess it's moving like 6 at a time or something when it does, but nah. Right, so I want to be able to pump as much iron ore into the system without having to worry about pulling it off of the bus, because that's just, it's limiting what's coming into the top of the bus. And while it is, you know, kind of keeping up here, I don't know. Depending on what we use elsewhere, it's going to choke. I don't like that as much. Because now, like, once that catches up, it's just going to cascade all the way back to here. Yeah. So let's see about upgrading some stuff today. Electricity looks good. I like what we did with copper last time. Like, this looks a lot neater. What are the robots busy doing today? Turn that down a notch. So it's like one robot working on it. Oh, it's slowed down because the system can only request so much at a time. I could help it along, even though we'll have to remember to come in later and fix this by giving the right side here input priority 2, so it's going to use from here a little bit faster. Yeah, I think that's all that we really need to do. They're about to empty one, and then they have quite a bit more to work on. There's like thousands here. Yeah, there's like 4,000, 5,000. As far as the iron getting brought in, let's kind of take a look at the ratio. Coming in on the iron train. Iron train's probably down at the bottom right now. Yep, there it is. Just pulled into Blitz. It looks like it's getting almost fully unloaded every time. Okay, it's coming back. We'll check. How do these look? Let's see how much the average crate, the average chest, is getting unloaded before the train arrives again. It's on its way back. Let's crack open a cold one while we wait. Cheers. they're getting unloaded. They probably slow down towards the end. Or they get completely unloaded. Wow, okay. Oh, I see. We were clicking on... Well, no. I was thinking we missed a whole row of chests or something, but... Either way, I guess the point is that we're only using them at a certain speed. Right now, what we're being provided is good. We don't need to add more to what's being brought up here just yet. However, I think that we could do this a little bit better, and we might be able to add steel to this project. Even though we just took care of expanding our steel at the end of the last episode. I think it could be better. So let's take a look here. These steam engines, we might be able to start removing them. Power output 530 kilowatts. 530 times 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20. $10,000 kilowatts. So 10 megawatts. What's our electricity look like here? So we'd be taking it down by 5% to take out this chunk right here. I think what we could do is gradually remove them, maybe take out about half, and expand our nuclear... No. What did I just copied some concrete. That's all good. What do we end up with here? We're pumping into these, but they're only outputting what's needed, and right now it's plenty. We could also expand this a little bit. In fact, since this takes a while to accomplish, go ahead and plan for the future here. We might just need this later. How far? Enough for one, enough for two. I guess let's just go ahead and come all the way out to here. You know what? Go big or go home, right? Is that within robot? It is actually not all within reach of a roboport. The roboports might get a little weird up here. Put one there. We'll squeeze one in down here. All right. Song's a little lower. Let's pick that up a little bit. And then we'll bring another over here. We conveniently already have the land for it. We might be able to bridge this, though, if we bring it down just a little bit. Might want to reconsider that, even. Because look at this space right here. So close to bridging everything. Well, this isn't covered. They have to come up and around. Excuse me. Let's make an island here. Perfect. There we go. Let's get at least to there, and we can even bring it down as far as we want. Right there. We'll get some power over here via long cord. That didn't take very long to fill in. So if we need to come up and expand this, this is ready to go. These are being made in the mall, being put into the system. Bots should be able to get up here and down pretty easily. They have to kind of come down and around this I don't feel like wedging one in the middle of there right now. Jaw harp you can dance to. Nah, it's a little too random. Next. Disco science still doing its job. All the science is coming in. Okay, what I was thinking about doing here was moving these over, freeing up some space, which may mean that we also move our research. We might be able to move it down into this little pocket here. Or alternately, what's this coal looking like? 82K, 200K. We haven't really carved out this iron yet either. We could move the research over here just to kind of get it down and out of the way. I don't think that we have any of these like currently constructed. So we have to build some more, but what I'll do is I'll put down the blueprint for that. Then we'll just kind of paste it in. Yeah, you know what? We'll just get right there. Sure. Then we'll reroute these so they'll be ready to go right when it starts. Maybe we did have them all for these. We're going to double up on construction pretty soon. We never end up using those. Old school power. There we go. I don't think we jammed up anything. We could wait for these to be used. But alternately, we could just deconstruct all this. You guys know where to take those. Nice. Alright, so we effectively just rotated it over, moved it over here and out of the way. Let's get these random trees out of here too. I'll be super happy when I get rid of this nagging cough. That I don't have to mute every 2 minutes. Alright, let's start off. What do we have here? We're bringing some water into this system. That's what these extra pipes are here, but otherwise everything's copied from there over. So let's use the deconstruct planner on all of it. Let's take out 10 columns and just see what it does to our electricity. There's 10. What do we have extra of that we don't need to be carrying a bunch of around? I'm looking for... Yeah, I guess we can check the steam engines that arrived in our inventory. Alright, so now what does this look like? We barely put a dent. I'm gonna go ahead and make the jump. Let's take out another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's take out another 10 columns. We're gonna go all in on nuclear. We'll expand it if we have to. We'll put in another nuclear station if we have to. Did they actually achieve? I think they did some damage maybe to the wall, but I don't know. I think we'd have seen a robot coming back to repair that. I knew that these were destroyed. They got destroyed at the end of the last episode. The last stream. Alright, you guys. Using less coal is going to be a positive for us. Let's get power up and over here. So we have power coming in from a couple of different directions, I believe. I think this is connected. If not, we may want some redundancy, so let's get another long power line in here. And then some of this is connected down through here, and some of this is down through here. Okay. These are probably good based off the water that they had previously, so we can clean these up as well. The real question is, do we want to take out the pumps? I actually am kind of in favor of leaving the pumps as long as they're not in the way. Because if we landfill over this area, we'll still have a source of water if we end up needing to use it for something. You can't really drill a ground well in without some sort of mod. Put some concrete in here. Let me shrink this up a little bit. Yeah. Cool. We may have had enough in our inventory for that. No, not for all this, surely. They're bringing it anyway. Alright, so what I'm thinking is that we actually turn our iron on its side, similar to this, and that one column becomes steel production. And then we provide for it as quickly as we need to. Like, it's as much iron ore as we need to. Think about how we can probably clean up these roboports as well. Let me take a look at what this looks like. We'd have to straddle it. I'm gonna get it right in the middle here. I'm just gonna put a third one there. But if they're straight across, then we may be able to plan our columns. Poober, thanks for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you again. Right now we're taking kind of a look at how we've set up these columns here, and I think I'd like to provide more iron ore to them without splitting. How's it going, everybody? I'd like to turn them horizontal, which will be kind of a big project. I mean, we'll just kind of gut them out with the deconstruction planner. Maybe re-look at how we want to run the materials to them, because I'm not really using beacons, and I probably should be. Really don't know if I want to jump into that just yet either. But yeah, so right now we're pulling all of our iron ore in here. We've got it really condensed down to just 4 lanes, but then those 4 lanes are split as they get down to the column. So I'm pretty sure we can get more throughput into here. And I want to convert one of them specifically for steel. I'm not the most efficient. I'm not the most by the book for the most efficient maps for anyone who hasn't tuned in before. So please forgive me if I don't do things. Hey, thanks for the cheer. That's actually one of my first cheers. Just got affiliate a couple weeks ago. So thank you. But yeah, so you may see me make all kinds of mistakes, step on my own feet all the time. Any help, any strategy in the chat is definitely appreciated, as long as you're willing to be patient with me, also learning. And I say learning, even though I have like 300 hours in the game. It's all just me working it all out in my head usually, and trying to make things look as symmetrical or cool as possible without necessarily looking everything up, you know? I do use some, hey, another cheer, thank you.
All around.
Aw, thank you. I like the cheer wall. Yeah, no, I mean, I use some blueprints, but otherwise, you know, I try to figure things out on my own, which I find to be one of the more fun parts of Factorio. But we've mostly just been sitting here kind of working on this base, not really even getting attacked. Even though we are in an aggressive world, the biters have stayed pretty far away. We're probably 40 or 50 hours into this map already. We've researched almost everything, even though we haven't really started building the rocket or anything yet. In fact, let's take a look. Where are we at? Well, let's do let's save first. And then if we take a look at the loading screen, 43 hours. We're 43 hours in. We have some trains running, bringing some raw materials in. We have a nuclear power plant. We're about at that stage. Running with just a couple of mods. Exactly. Zadralia, I agree. Like, that's how I got into the game. I was like, I'm going to figure this all out myself. And things like nuclear, you know, provide a bit more of a challenge. But I remember playing this, I think before nuclear was even added. Way back when the batteries looked like Duracell batteries. And I would play for a while. I would maybe get to the rocket, and then right, and then I would maybe take a break for a year. So I've probably played through 3 different times, and it's been a different experience each time. Like, I remember back when you kill the biters and you get the little purple orbs, and that was pretty cool too. I've been sitting here talking and not really doing anything this whole time, but yeah, I figured you guys deserved kind of an intro to me. My streaming partner, Mr. Miyagi, my cat, is not with us in the room right now. There's his cat cam. His bed is empty. He was sick last week. Had to spend a couple days in kitty hospital. He is almost 100% now. He is back and stronger than ever. But he had some liver issues. So, poor guy. We were worried about him. Maybe he'll come join us tonight. Yeah, so we have our copper lines running here, and I kind of want to imitate or improve upon this. I'm sure it's got its drawbacks. Like right now it's just raw ore being fed in. And I'd like to figure out the best way to maybe get beacons in here. Should we even mess with beacons right now at this level? I don't know. I can also start kind of on this plane right here, kind of in this area here at the end, before we tear everything out. That way we maintain production. Hey, Cloud. Yeah, maybe he'll come join us. If he does, I'll pop his cam on. He's my co-pilot. Zatralia says, I'd mess with beacons if you've got level 3 modules, otherwise it's not really worth it. And Bombaclat.com, I'd launch a rocket before you beacon. Before a beacon? Okay, interesting. We just finished researching white science. We haven't started building the rocket parts just yet, but we have gotten to level 3 with productivity modules. In fact, let me give you guys a quick tour of the base for those who haven't been with us this whole time. This was the start of our base, and this is the start of our bus, and this is why it looks terrible right here. This is a mess of spaghetti at the top of the bus, but it sorts itself out right around here. Kind of up north of the base, we had some initial patches that we were pulling iron and coal from, so you know, the standard start. And we're still pulling from those because we have ores set pretty high on this map. Ragfear says, my setup, I have 12 furnaces huddled around one beacon. You know, I might do something like that. That might be the step once we do beacon. But yeah, so a lot of this has just kind of been wedged in as we needed to upgrade, because we were kind of condensed within a wall at first and we gradually expanded. Let's take a look at the world map. I picked this map as kind of a challenge. The water levels are kind of high, so we ended up with this interesting continent that, again, we started kind of here in the middle and we expanded to the south. It actually wraps up in a spiral shape, which isn't flat world ideal, but I thought that would be an interesting challenge. So I kind of wanted to maybe take the bus around, if it even goes that far. Right now the bus is just kind of coming down here and it kind of bends in this L shape, kind of going in this direction. And we've expanded down. We've actually gone on a couple of missions to clear out all the biters. We've got a wall down here, kind of protected with laser turrets right now. We pushed the biters back. And then on this side, we cleared out this whole side of the continent. We've got some, this is just stone being picked up. We don't even have a radar down there right now. We have a couple of stone stations. And then we have another wall right here. And this is where the biters are mostly coming from right now, but they're kind of being held back. I had a couple of turrets up here as canaries to let me know when they were finally pushing, which happened at the end of the last episode, the last stream. And yeah, so they've kind of made their way down here. I even gave them a faster way. I landfilled in a strip right here so that they attacked this part of the wall instead of this part of the wall, but we've got everything covered with roboports. Things are getting repaired as they come and attack, and they attack so rarely, mostly because of this border that we had of water. It took so long for the pollution to go anywhere. I mean, now it's big, but it took a while before it even reached the other side of the water. And finally, this is Doug. What's up, Doug? We're going to spare Doug if we ever expand into his backyard. He's been here for forever. You know what? How do you, what's the key? Is it right click? Yeah, there we go. What's a good icon for Doug? He gets a check. We approve of Doug. I haven't really used many of the icons on the map, mostly because everything's been so condensed and localized. We've got everything you could expect. Oh, we got some weird music playing right now. Let's skip to something more upbeat. Yeah, that'll be cool. The destroyer capsule. Maybe later. Maybe if Doug turns on us. I mean, if he shoots me in the back on my way past later, then he might not be long for this world, but we'll see. We've got your basic strips of production off to the sides. In fact, we just recently expanded, so we have 2 strips of red circuit production. This probably isn't the most efficient, but we have been providing for it. And most belts are saturated right now because we've kind of reached a lull in advancement. We're doing well. It's time to move on to rockets, probably. Blue chip production is doing well. Science is being produced. Science is all over the place. We kind of moved on to each science as we grew the base. So we have these kind of belts on the outsides, all congregating together. Here's some over to the left here, all kind of congregating together and then moving the science all as one, just because I kind of liked how this rainbow looked. So we bring the science rainbow up. And then we just have a few labs working with Disco Science. so that they glow the colors that they're working on. Oh, yeah, I was going to mention earlier the mods that we're working with. So really just some convenience mods like Squeak Through, which Squeak Through wasn't working the last time I checked, and we were having some issues, so I don't know if it's working now or not. No, it doesn't appear to be. Something weird happened with my save, and Squeak Through's not working. But we're also working with auto deconstruct, so when a mining drill finishes, it has no more resources. It gets marked for deconstruction. A robot comes and picks it up. Bottleneck shows us these little lights for whenever something's working. Green's working, yellow is stalled, and red means it doesn't have what it needs to work. Excuse me, I have hiccups. And what else are we working with? We've got Disco Science, which I just added in last time, and Long Reach, of course. I try not to cheese long reach too much, but sometimes, you know, it's just that one little like extra square or two when you're standing far away from something. You're just like, why do I need to walk 10 feet over there? Especially when I have robots do everything else for me. At this point in the game, I'm like, nah, give me long reach, please. So that's the gist of the tour of the base. Down here, like I mentioned, the bus turns to the right. We have some more iron being mined down here in a couple of big patches, but for that we just kind of pulled it out away from the bus, and we have a station that a train comes and picks up from and then brings it all the way back up to the top of the bus. We may do that for maybe this patch here. Who knows? Oil is being gathered right here as an expansion to our initial oil field, which was right here. And this is also all over the place. Pipes are also spaghetti. But enough bantying about, right? Let's put in the one strip that we talked about for steel to kind of expand on steel, and then maybe I'll wait on the others, and we'll maybe do some of the rocket work today before we mess with beacons. So let me just take a copy of this really quick just to kind of size it up and see if we did the same method, the same basic column of smelting, and we brought it over here. I'm thinking if we squeeze it in between these lines, and I know our roboports are all over the place. I thought I did a decent job of putting them out on a grid down further, but now I'm looking at it, it's almost like a soccer ball of hexagons everywhere. We tried to do a grid. There it is. Maybe kind of down here. No, they're all over the place. But hey, they touch. And that's the important part. We only start getting into gaps when we get way up towards the farthest north point. This is my goldfish mind getting distracted again. Okay, so what I'm thinking for steel is that we bring these in, except we do something like... we do something like this. Right? And we bring the iron ore in and have the iron ore then make the iron plates, then that gets made into steel. Wouldn't that work a little bit better than pulling the iron plates off of our bus like we're currently doing? Or having a whole other separate set of smelters for iron plates? It takes up more space, but I feel like something like this is going to work better. Also, we have, you know what, this might be a good opportunity for us to take these medium-sized poles out and go ahead and switch over to using the substations more. Pick these out of here. Can the substations reach far enough into this setup? Ooh, not really, actually. Chilia Terrell says you could direct insert iron plate to steel smelting. It works good. Oh, I see, direct insert. So we don't even go onto the belt. We just move it. Gotcha. These are the little things that I don't think about until I see them elsewhere, and I'm like, oh, that was such a good idea. So thank you for that suggestion, because that makes a lot of sense. Then if we pull that in, we're also using, yeah, we can go ahead and upgrade to blue belts for this too, just to make sure we get maximum throughput. Something more like that. Should we use a different type of inserter, do you think? Or are the blue fast inserters good enough? Mm-hmm. Now, if we do that, we might actually reach with these. Almost. These substations power everything except for the inside. Let's get everything to the far left. Oh, let's get laser turret shooting. We'll just keep going with these. Well, we need everything for rocket. Do we have everything for rocket? We might, actually. Yeah, we're already good to go on, on making the rocket if we really want to. Let's just keep going with this research while we're working. Furnace is in a line of 4, then 2 spaces for the substation. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Because that would then give us room on either side for the substation. Let's see what that looks like. And kind of squeeze them in here like this. And actually we need to move this up too. Nope. There we go. And I'll do another copy paste in a sec, but I mean, does that reach? That almost reaches everything. It's just 1 square away from reaching the inserters on the top and bottom too, but we could put 2 substations in. So we could put one kind of high and one kind of low, and what that would do, excuse me, what that would do is give a little bit of power to the edge if we need to put anything next to it. That could come in here like this. Then what we could do is kind of take that and mirror it in this way. What's wrong with using power lines? I don't necessarily dislike it. I do like the idea of simplifying it a little bit more by using the substations. Ooh, that one's a little loud. Take that down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, let's get like one more in here. We'll expand if we need to. Let's chop off the end here. Let's kind of see how quickly this produces. Let me pull, it's not going to be the most efficient, but just as kind of a test, let me pull off some ore here. Because again, we're going to redo all this later. Oops. Bring you under. The throughput's going to be terrible and not optimized. Bring us some blues. The mall is just down here, so they should be, yeah, they're on their way. Come on. We'll do it ourselves if we have to, since they're bringing it to us first. Well, it looks like it's actually making it to the end. On this side, at least. But then again, it was backed up, so. I don't know where we're going with this just yet. Let's go down and take a look at where iron comes in. This is a mess right now. Until some of these resources get used up, I'm not necessarily going to carve them out. We have our old steel columns here. We're actually doing okay with them now, but we're not producing anything necessarily, so... Let's put a pause. Let's put a pause on the current project. It's good where it's at. That's a concept. for making those horizontal like we want to do later. But let's get to using some of these materials that we have. Let's take a look at rockets. We don't have nuclear fuel, where we haven't really been making nuclear fuel. What's the first step to a rocket? It's been forever since I've made a rocket. The rocket control units, the satellites. We do have something making low density structures, but in a very small capacity. Where's the actual rocket? The launching station. It's been forever. Not considered crafting, is it? No. I'm completely blanking. I guess we could search. Wait, so we don't have it? Or is it not called the rocket anything? Is it called the silo? Oh, rocket silo. Weird. Okay. So we need 1,000 steel plates, 200 processing units. So this will be no problem at all to pick up from our system and make a rocket silo. Where do we want to put our rocket silo? I think we should put it towards the end of where our bus currently is, over here. Let's go ahead and tell our bots to clean some of this up for us. And we'll pick up the parts that we need. Where was that though? 1,000 steel, 200 blue processing units, 200 red electric engines. Let's take any of those off of auto trash. I wish I could just kind of point at it if I knew where it was. It's gotta be in here. If I keep jumping out of the menu, I keep losing the search for it. There it is. It's the very end. The concrete, 1,000 basic concrete, 100 pipes. We're good on the pipes. Combat, yeah. There you. It's weird that it's in combat. But I guess radar's in combat, and it's just kind of like a one-off. Okay, we could take the blue from the belt. 200 of those. Thousand. From the steel. 200 red engines. We have those over to the left, over on the west side of the base. I guess I could ask the robots to bring me these, but we'll give them a break. They've been working hard for us. $850, $900, $950, $1,000. Do we stop right at 1,000? Oh, 1,001. 200 red engine units. Also, our inventory is filling up. Research combat robotics. Take a bunch of these construction robots out of my inventory. There are a few things taking up spots that they don't have to. I don't need these. We're good for now. Those red engines were over here. $200 of those. We made it like right to rocket on the last playthrough that I did earlier this year, which was right when the 17 update came out. But I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't as elegant as some of the stuff that we've done this time. And I wouldn't necessarily describe my usual practice as being elegant either, but 1,000 concrete. That's going to be a big one. Let's see here. Take those away. Those. Okay, we should be good now. Concrete is made over here. Where we're making advanced concrete, we could probably pull some... Where's it at? Did we run past it? We did. It's right here. We're making plenty of advanced concrete. I don't know if we've saved regular concrete. We could have it pulled out. Honestly, we can grab a bunch ourselves. That'll give us a couple hundred, and then we need to have the rest made for us. Oh, you're still going? Okay. What do we have? 250, so we only got a quarter of it ourselves. Let's say anything extra that you have here on the end, please place that into a provider chest. And don't go forever. What's stacks 100, 2, 3, that's a 10 at the top, right? Yeah, so just fill up. That might take a minute then. Alternately, we could do the same. Oh no, okay, we have this, I forgot about this. We do have it coming off onto a belt for production somewhere, so we could just pull it off of this. Oh, it's for this mall that makes nuclear stuff. Yeah, we're good then. I'm gonna stand right here and grab it. I don't know if it has 1,000 on the belt, but it's definitely gonna be faster than waiting for a single factory to build it for us.